Hello everybody, today we're doing a refresher video on the Propack. The TFT Propack is a foam inductor system that allows us to be able to use very low amounts of water with a reasonable amount of foam. The Propack you can use with either Class B foam, which the foam that we use is 1 to 3%, or you can use a Class A foam, which is 0.1 to 1%. Just kind of a refresher of the parts of the Propack. On the intake side, it is a 1-inch national thread, which most of our units keep a 1.5 to 1 inch reducer with. This will hook right into our 1.5 pre-connects, or you can also use it off of a 1-inch bumper line. On the front here, you're going to have the cap or the indicator. On this is just the way to fill, which it has the screen, so when you're applying the foam, it screens out any trash and all. And on the cap, you're going to find an indicator. This has nothing to do with the operation of the Propack. This is simply to remind you of the foam that is stored in it at the time. The Propack, you can store up to 2.5 gallons of foam, and you can just keep it on your truck or in the station while it's stored on the truck, as long as the unit stays sealed, which we'll go over in a few minutes. But there's, on the indicator, you can just slide it around to your B fire or your B foams, right on around. This particular pack has A foam in it, Class A foam, so that is why we keep it on the A indicator. The top portion is your valve, which is a piston valve. It is, the further you rotate it to the left, is the more GPM or more pressure that you're going to get. And on the front, you have your percentage indicator, which can be used either with Class A or Class B foam. If you remove the top pin, there's a spring in there. It's important that you don't lose these two. The valve, the green side is for your Class A, and the red side is for your Class B. Both of them, the percentages is on a scale. The further you turn it, the higher the percentage. And the Class B goes from 1% all the way up to, make sure I get it right, from 1% all the way up to 3%, 6%. Goes from 1% to 6%. And on the Class A side, it goes from 0.1 to 1%. Whenever you have this off, make sure that the little ports, they're little notch ports, which is what gives you your percentage. Make sure they are clean, but we'll go over that in a few minutes when we start cleaning the unit after use. To return it, just put the spring and the pin back together. This is your indicator knob for your percentage. On this indicator knob, you can turn either to the Class A or Class B just by simply removing it and turning the knob to the appropriate side. Another very important part of this unit is this cap. Whenever the unit is not in use, this cap is what keeps air from entering into the foam container along with the valve. And this keeps the foam in working order, keeps it from gelling or becoming thick to where it's unoperational. So this is a very important part of this unit. On our units, we have a short section of hose. If you notice, on all the discharge side of the unit, the hose is quarter turn. It's got a line that indicates where you line up the tip, and then just a quarter turn. It is almost fireman proof. On your nozzles, there's 3 different nozzles. The first nozzle is a smooth bore. This nozzle is recommended for use for grass fires or heavy vegetation or somewhere where you want some reach. This one here at 100 psi will reach approximately 50 foot. It's going to give you a good stream, but it's not going to have a lot of foam to it. It's not aerated. It's just a smooth bore nozzle, so it has its application in the grass fires and that type of stuff. This next one is what they call a low expansion nozzle. It is the recommendation from TFT is this to be used with your Class B foams. What we have found in our operation is this is the nozzle that most of us choose to use during overhaul of a structure fire. The reach on this is at 100 psi, is 37 feet. It also has the quarter turn lock on it. When it is used between 0.1 and 1% for your Class A, it gives most material a good coat. You know, like it allows the water to penetrate a little better, and with the reach of it, it works very well in overhaul. The next nozzle, this is a medium expansion nozzle. It is designed to be used with Class B foams, and it gives off a big heavy blanket. We have used it a few times on Class A type fires. What you end up with is a lot of foam and not a lot of water to penetrate the material, so it's not really used well in overhaul. One operation for this nozzle is a wet line on a grass fire or a hay field fire. I've seen it used like that, and it worked very well. So all of these are just different tools that once you train with them, you can come up with the application that you need to use them in. It's just another tool in the toolbox. If there's ever, if you ever need a reminder for what the unit can operate at or the amount of foam that it can use, if you'll look on the side, the operations of it, the amount of foam it will use at what PSI. The pack is designed to operate from 40 PSI to 500 PSI. In our system, we generally start off operations at 100 PSI and adjust accordingly to the scene. And on your next one, it'll show you the amount of foam that you will use at what percentage. At 0.1, you have 206 minutes of foam, and at 6%, you have 3.5 minutes of foam. So just if you ever have any question, if you can't remember, the operation of the unit is right there. That's about it as far as all the components of the Propack. Whenever we come back, we'll go over some of the operations.